My grandfather, when he was little, they used to have a white rat and a black rat down in their basement, and they used to breed the two rats, and they quite often were producing white offspring, and there'd be black ones and white ones, I think, but they would basically steal their babies and take them down to the local pet shop and you know, sell them. And the valuable ones were the white rats, because you know, the normal coloured rats, people didn't want them in their house because they're rats, they're disgusting. But white rats, lab rats, were of interest to them. So yep, would steal their white babies. And what the rats evolved into doing, they are smart. Like, we evolve over thousands of years apparently, but them, they evolved within a matter of a year to birthing no white rats. They only birthed the colour that wouldn't be taken, and they thrived in that basement. Apparently they opened the door and turned on the light. How true this story is, my granddad, God bless his soul, but apparently there was a mass of, you know, black rats or brown rats in the basement, not a white rat among them. Why? Because the white rats were being taken. So they intelligently prevented that from happening. That's amazing. Like, talk about smart. Hopefully your the pestilence, you know, sorted that out. But while I'm on here, I'm going to give you a card. I'm going to read a card. What card have I got for you? Ooh, it says heal away addictions. Do you have an addiction? Do you? Do you? Let's talk about it. I'm here for you. Surrender. Great. Do we have to have addiction come up first? We're all addicted to something, aren't we? I mean, in this modern day world that we live in, realistically, it's not like we've been, society has been set up to have people stressed out, on medication, working round the clock, or stressing about not working, or stressing about this, or stressing about that, or stressing, just stress. And there's coffee crutches, there's cigarette crutches, there's sugar crutches, there's the more intense crutches. But why are people doing it? To get through the rat race. So it was interesting that we were talking about rats to start with. But yes, and I am shocking at telling stories, so that's probably one of the better ways I've told it. Now, instead of talking about addictions, what other messages have we got coming through? Happy success. Let's relate that back to the addictions and say that we can get out of it and return to peace. Another good way to do that is remove hectic people from your life. That always helps, or people that bring you down. Sometimes shit needs to be shed, you know, like, so you can be peaceful and have what come out again. Happy success. Now, I'm assuming you call yourself Heyoka for the same reasons I know I'm a Heyoka. And this is also the reason I don't hang around with people very often, because it is my trait to absolutely bring out the worst in people, and everything that they don't like about somebody I will show them. And it's not until afterwards that I reflect and go, oh, that's not even me. Why did I do that? Because in the spiritual sense, you're actually a magnifying mirror. And that's what a Heyoka is. They do. So I imagine you found it just as difficult to be around people, because immediately you're going to highlight everything they can't stand. But I digress. Now, what does this one say? Crystals. The energy of crystals supports you and helps you in your present situation. I am surrounded by crystals. I have a shop of crystals. So yes, they definitely do support the vibration. Reminded of the love, the vast universe. And what was that? Power. Power. Perfect. Stand in it. Stand in your I am presence. And it was beautiful that power came out. Why? Because power's been given such a negative connotation. Like if you think, when I think of the machine that is this, would just turn very toxic. My higher self and your higher self would know. 2020 lockdown, and this is lockdown in Melbourne. So Melbourne across the world came off as if we were more hectic in the lockdowns than majority of the world. All the women are popping pills. State of mental health is at an all-time low. We need help down here. The energies of the earth are dense here in Melbourne. So many energy changes. Like the shifts that were experienced were quite intense. And I say that because people that I knew like really showed themselves that year, and that I didn't realize that they would have. And yeah, the energies were very dense. I had a warning from the clouds. Basically, when I look into a coffee cup, I just did a coffee reading earlier, or if I look in tea leaves, or if I look at the clouds, I am given messages. Yeah, woo, 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 I guess. But I see the messages, they come through. And there was a massive war in the clouds. I was watching this on a big long drive that I had, and I was staring out the window going, what? And there was nobody I was in the car with that I was going to turn around and say, look at the clouds, there's a story playing out, because very straight edge, not so spiritual in the car, and the ones who might have been just not appropriate. But I watched this battle play out, and it started off with like karma demons and God's warriors. And God's warriors were defending the karma demons. And really, they were exactly how you'd visualize like Archangel Michael to be dressed, or a warrior of God, one of God's angels to be dressed. Like, it's exactly what you'd think. And the karma demons were those old shriveled up yucks that they are. So anyway, basically I was like, oh yeah, they're getting them, you know, they're getting all these old disgusting little shriveled up demonic entities. And I thought, yeah, go God's army, you know, like everything was looking fine. And then we got further up the road, and there was just like a mass of cloud, which was massive. It was like watching Middle Earth go to battle, which I know sounds ridiculous, but realms exist. And I don't care who calls me crazy for saying that. I don't care, because basically I saw this war play out. I saw the lead demon, who is very archetypical of what a demon would look like. I had to find a photo of one. Anyway, and he went and pointed in the direction of Melbourne. Like, and it was like, and then he's like, charge. And they all, you know, came a running. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, God's army is going to get annihilated by them. And they would have. But they were heading in the direction of Melbourne. And what happened? Oh, lo and behold, how many months later? Not even. You know what I mean? That was November. In January, that's what we were facing. Could it have taken them that long to travel there? Who knows? But I saw it happen in the clouds, and we were under attack in Melbourne. And also there are other spiritualists who reported stank smells. Like if you have ever been in the presence of or around some of these dense energies, and that's what I'll call them, because I mean, in the whole reality of things, are demons real, this, that, the other? Well, the archetype of them's real, and we've made them real by bringing them to life in our own minds, but are they truly real? Whether they are or not, they smell like gaseous energy, like pure methane shit. That's a true demonic entity, and they're woo. Woo woo and woo woo to you. I'll get back to the cards. Trust. So you can trust what I say, or just be like, oh my god, this bitch is right off. And yeah, whatever. We all know what we went through. The vibration of fear that went down in January of 2020, that was real. And that was fucking real for all of us. And being in fear puts us straight into our reptilian brain. And that's where we work out of. And I guess majority of people stayed in that reptilian brain, and some of us didn't. Some of us shifted and moved back into our heart center, because we knew that being in the reptilian brain is false. And it's also a bit heartless too. But anyway, I digress. Shield yourself. Protect yourself from harsh, fear-based energies by envisioning a cocoon of healing light surrounding you. God, I love how the cards do that. Anyway, oh, and what popped out now? Commitment. I've got commitment to the cause to still be talking about it 2 years later. How dare you show up? Perception. And it is all perception. Everything is perception. So this is my perception of things, and that was my perception of 2020. Not everyone's. And unlike what I was subjected to, I don't condemn anybody for their perception of what they experienced in 2020. I don't deny them their experience. I support whatever they choose to think. I can have my own thoughts, and you can have your own thoughts. Just don't go giving me COVID again, because I did get COVID and it hit me like a freight train, but it was gone 3 days later. I was tired on and off for a long time afterwards, probably lasted about 3 months. It felt like very unnatural, especially having electric shocks run through my legs. And my entire body was so sore I had to lay in a bath of magnesium, and that gave little relief, but enough to be okay. Experience gaslighting and false realities